talking, so you're tracking me, the speaker? Me? Cool, thank you. As you know, I told you last week I'm not going to be here tomorrow or Friday. Oh my gosh, I'm going to miss you so much. I'll be in Belize. But you will be here, and so I'm going to give you the reading that we do today. You're going to use tomorrow and Friday. So first of all, before we get started, 3 people to tell me about their do now, about a time when you had to stand up for something that you thought was wrong. Ryan's 1, and 2 more. Then Charles 1, and Hector's 1. Go ahead, Ryan.
When I was 9 years old, I had to stop his boy from messing with my family. He slapped my sister, and I slammed him on the wall, and he got mad, so I told my little cousin to go beat him up because he was small. And me and my cousin told the story to our family, and my dad and my uncle went to the room and talked to the man because he grabbed my aunt like he was a police, and I felt bad in this situation.
Thank you, sir. Intro. Go ahead.
When I was 10 years old, I had to. When I was 10 years old, I had to stand up to my little brother because he had got bullied at school, and this little boy kept snitching on him, and when the other boy had got snitched on, he would start crying, and my brother did him, so I told my brother to just don't worry about what the boy did. So the boy had pushed my brother, and then my brother came home crying, and he said that the boy pushed him, and then I went to school the next day, and then I told the boy, big brother, that his brother was messing with my brother, and then he had said that he wasn't. So then we was outside, and then the boy he had came and pushed me, and I pushed him back, and then after that, he had left the school, and then that was it.
So somebody was picking on your little brother, and you had to. How did it make you feel when you found out somebody was picking on your little brother?
It made me feel bad.
Okay, so you then went and handled the situation. Okay, in the way that you said. Thank you, Hector.
When I was 8 years old, I had to stand up because this kid was messing with a smaller kid than he was. So every day I saw that the little kid getting bullied. And one day I stand up to the bully and I said, "Why are you messing with that little kid?" And he said, "Because I wanted to." So then I told the teacher, and the teacher saw the problem. And then the kid started messing with me. And then I told the teacher, and then she saw the problem.
Thank you very much, sir. Snaps. So you all appreciate that. We appreciate that. Excuse me?
What is that? What is that? You said Christian Morgan. I said Christian Morgan. You said
Why?
Christian Morgan. Good.
Cause what?
Yes.
You know this is your first one? You know? Okay, thanks. All right, so we are going to, again, be talking about figurative language and character traits. In true Black History Month fashion, we are going to be talking today about a civil rights leader. You know, our second unit, what's our second unit? Our first unit was Africa. What's our second unit? I don't remember. Latin America. Latin America. So today we're going to be talking about Cesar Chavez, the excitement. And actually, I didn't even know who Cesar Chavez was until I started working here. Was that crazy? You're going to find out today.
Chavez?
Yeah.
I'm right here.
We're going to talk about it today. We are also going to be talking about more about civil rights and the civil rights movement. What are civil rights? Somebody tell me what civil rights are, like in your own words. Yes, David?
Right.
Yeah, civil rights. What are they? What are rights? What's a right?
To go to a restaurant or like work
So that's
a job.
an example. Is that an example of a right?
Yeah.
What is it?
Work in a job without people telling you you can't work. Or like you could use the restroom
start to talk, then that defeats the purpose. Put your hand down, please. Yes, Justin.
The ability to do something that you want to do.
Doing something that you want to do. Okay, that's a right. What is a civil right then? We don't know. Face.
Freedom.
Go ahead. Freedom. What about it? So civil rights is just freedom? Like me having civil rights, me being free? You're asking? Yes, Connor?
That everyone wants to do?
Someone that everyone wants to have,
Wait, no,
to do?
Yeah.
Yes, Hector?
Something that every person should have.
Something that every person should have. Thank you, sir. Absolutely. So we talked about rights versus privilege last week, right? A right versus a privilege. What's a privilege?
Earn.
Something you earn.
A
Yes.
privilege is something that you already have, and like if you lose it, you can get it back.
Okay. And then a right is what?
A right is something that you. A right is something that you get.
Somebody gives you something. It's
No. It's the ability to do something on your own terms.
that's what a right is. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Y'all go back to your seat. All right, so if you take a look at the sheet, you should have two things. You should have packet with the reading, and then a sheet with two sides. So on one side is figurative language, and then on another side is character and traits. Raise your hand if you do not have two things. Perfect. All right, so your piece of text, this actually came from the book, should go ahead and number your pages for me. I'll tell you how to number them. So 2 pages are on one sheet. So this is page 1, page 2, but the staple is on the wrong side. So number your pages. Take your piece of text. Number your pages. 1, 2. And then once you flip it over, put the staples on the wrong side. Three and 4. Got it? Nope. 1, 2. So there are 2 pages on one sheet. So the first page should be 1 and 2.
Is it 5 and 6?
Yep. There are 8 pages. So page 3 should start with fierce workers, so 3 and 4. Perfect. Then 7, 8 on that. Yours is numbered already. Yeah. All right, perfect. Alrighty. All right, so what is figurative? What does figurative mean? If I say something is like a figure of speech, I'm using figurative language. What does that mean? Yes, sir. Yes, Justin.
You don't mean what you say.
You don't mean, I don't mean what I say? Tell me, explain that to me so I can know that. I don't mean what I say. Ryan?
Like you're trying to say the same thing, but in a different way.
Okay, so I'm saying something but in a different way? That makes more sense?
Say you barking when you cough.
Okay. Example, barking, you're coughing. What else? What are some examples of figurative language? If I say that the tree whispered in my ear. What does that mean? Yes.
The wind, when the wind was blowing, you can hear the leaves on the tree move.
Okay, did the tree actually whisper? Did trees whisper? No. Okay, so figurative language is saying one thing in another form, right? Is that what we just said? All right, cool. So we're going to pick up those two different things from our text, figurative language as well as character traits. We're going to determine what we believe, what we think the author is trying to say in his words. So we're going to make our inferences, right? All right, so starting on page 1, I will read first, and then somebody else is going to read after. So look alive. All right. So Harvesting Hope, the story of Cesar Chavez. Until Cesar Chavez was 10, every summer night was like a fiesta. Relatives swarmed onto the ranch for barbecues with watermelon, lemonade, and fresh corn. Cesar and his brothers, sisters, and cousins settled down to sleep outside, under netting to keep mosquitoes out. But who could sleep with aunts and uncles singing, spinning ghost stories and telling magical tales of life back in Mexico? Daniel, can you read page or paragraph 2, please?
Caesar thought the whole world belonged to his family. The 8 acres of their ranch were an island in the shimmering Arizona desert, and the starry skies were all their hosts owned.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, so our first piece of figurative language, first we're going to figure out what it means, is the 80 acres of their ranch were an island in the shimmering Arizona desert. All right, so what, first of all, somebody tell me what an island is. Yes, Jamie.
It's a piece of land that like sits on water.
Okay, so a piece of land sitting on water. Could his ranch actually be an island? Is his ranch actually an island? Okay, what is this line saying? Yes.
They're trying to say it looked like it's as big as an island.
Yes, Jamie?
The 80 acres, so like they said it has the 80 acres are their ranch, so I guess they were comparing it to like an island that has 80 acres, so or something like that.
But it says that, so remember, figurative language is saying something without saying. Yes? Surrounded by a lake? A ranch surrounded by a lake? So it's trying to tell us something. We're going to make an inference. We're supposed to make a connection with this, with what it's saying, but it's not. No, that's not.
It's not specific.
No, it's not that it's not specific. It's comparing it to something. So it's not what it says it is. Yes, Justin?
I think they said that they were in the middle of nowhere.
Thank you. The ranch was in the middle of nowhere. So if you think about a ranch, if you think about houses now on your block, is your neighbor's house to yours? Like you can touch it, right? You can reach out and touch it sometimes. It's fairly close. You can see it though, right?
Yes.
So think about a house in the middle of 80 acres, so a house in the middle of land, and you can't see any other houses around. Like your nearest neighbor is like, you have to get in the car and drive to your next door neighbor next door. So that's how close your next door neighbor is. All right? So on our sheet, examples of figurative language. So page 1, the 80 acres of their ranch were an island on the shimmering Arizona desert, and the starry skies were all their own. This means that their ranch was in the middle of nowhere. They didn't really have neighbors too close. They couldn't run next door and borrow eggs because it was far. Or a cup of milk, a cup of sugar, none of that. Had to get in the car.
donations, Adobe House, disaster, the laws being interested in industrial farm, cows, chickens, supply and all the food we could want. Hundreds of cousins on their farms nearby, there was always someone to pay. Caesar's best friend was his brother Richard. They never had a day apart.
Thank you. So, all right. So Adobe is like it's like this clay that people made. So they took like dirt, straw, and water, and mixed it all together and made clay. So he said this house, his grandpa made this house out of Adobe, and the walls were 18